Becoming a mom was a powerful, life-changing experience for me. But my husband went through some pretty powerful changes too. What goes through a guy's head after he becomes a dad? How does he feel about himself, about you? And how does that affect what happens between the two of you sexually? I'm Dr. Logan Levkoff, and this is Mom Ed in the Bedroom. Hi, thanks for joining me. I am so happy that my good friend, sex therapist, author of the Big Fun Sexy Sex book, Ian Kerner, is with us today.
Hello, Logan.
Ian, thank you so much for being here. When we give birth, we're on this roller coaster of hormones, and we rarely think about our male partners and what you might be experiencing. So tell us the male perspective. What are the guys going through?
I think that we just don't anticipate the extent to which having a baby is going to be like relationship boot camp. You know, there was a study that came out from the University of Colorado, and it still boggles my mind. It was that over 90% of new parents, so 90%, experience a decline in relationship satisfaction.
When you would think we would be connecting more.
Well, on the one hand, right, we're happier than ever. There is a bundle of joy. I mean, who doesn't love becoming a father and seeing this baby? But what starts to happen is the disconnection, you know, going from a duo to a trio. It becomes a whole kind of rechanneling of energy and attention. For me, honestly, and this is what I hear from a lot of men as well, is, you know, before you have a baby, the relationship can be so exciting and unpredictable and spontaneous.
Spontaneous sex, as much as you can get.
And not just the sex, yes, spontaneous sex, and also just, oh, you're gonna go out and you're gonna see friends, or you're gonna get in the car and take a drive, and all of a sudden, life becomes completely scheduled, routined, down to the minute, and frankly, that's a little boring too.
It certainly can be boring, but the truth is we're so exhausted and we don't really know how to operate any other way. You know, exhaustion wreaks havoc on your libido, certainly on your relationship. And some of the things I think that women fear is that you fear us after we've given birth, especially if we've had a vaginal delivery, that you're afraid of being intimate for fear that you might hurt us.
Yeah, I think that a lot of guys are worried. It's been a while since we potentially had sex. You know, sex usually goes down in the last trimester, and then there's that 6 to 8 week period. And I think that we really need to hear from our partners that it's okay. And I think a lot of us think it's all about jumping straight back into sex, but you can take intercourse off the table. You can introduce manual stimulation using a small sex toy. You can introduce oral stimulation. But I think that this is an area where we would love to get a cue from mom.
From us, sure. Well, why is sex so destructive, or lack of sex destructive, especially after having children?
You know, it's really interesting, Logan. I think for a lot of men, and we may not even realize it, but sex is such a powerful form of communication. I mean, it's really one of the main ways in which we get to express our emotions and get emotions back from our partners. And we really come to rely on that communication channel. And after the birth of a child, really going through 3-4 months without really having that sexual connection, it really erodes the emotional connection in a lot of ways. And so what I hear from a lot of men is like, I want to be emotionally connected again. Sure, the sex part is great, but I also want the emotions.
That's how you feel emotionally connected. Ian, there's no question that we could be difficult, hormonal after giving birth, and we don't always consider your needs. So what would you say to men in terms of managing us after we've had kids?
You know, I would tell the guys out there to really hang in there. Be patient, be loving, but keep trying, because it's really important ultimately. I mean, the wife has to return back to the intimate relationship. I mean, you have to form a duo again. You have to return to an intimate life. In the end, happy kids need happy parents, right? And happy parents have sex with each other.
So one of the things that women don't really understand is really all of the misunderstandings that men have about us after motherhood. So what do you think are the common misconceptions that men have about us?
I think the number one thing is that men often still find their wives sexy as hell. I mean, I hear from women all the time, I can't believe he's interested in having sex with me. I think, especially after the birth of a child, we're ecstatic, we're exalted. I mean, seeing you as a new mom. I mean, it really does excite us, and we find our wives, our partners, sexier than ever. And so if you don't feel sexy, if there's something that you need to boost your sense of sexual self-esteem, I think that women need to be really clear and let us know, because we're oblivious. We just don't see that.
Now, you and I talk about the importance of date night all the time, and it's
Yeah.
certainly not a novel idea. Everyone talks about date night, but it is important.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you know, I work a lot with new parents, and they're like, we haven't had a date night in 4 years. What are you doing here with me now?
Right,
Go to the movies, go
doing
have
anything.
fun.
I wanted to find out what my fellow moms thought about date night. Boring, important, necessary? Check out what they had to say on this Mom on the Street report. So do you schedule date nights? You know, experts always say, make time for your relationship, schedule date nights. How does that fit into your lives?
We definitely try and have at least a date night a week. It doesn't always lead to sex, but...
Date nights worked well when we had one child, but after having two, it was very hard. We don't do date nights anymore. What we try to do is actually we try to go away. We take vacations. We leave the children at home for at least 2 to 3 days, and so we have like a date vacation, if you will.
It's clear that no matter how busy and tired and exhausted we are, date night is still a really important thing for most parents out there.
Absolutely. I really advise parents, almost as soon as you've brought the baby home, start planning your first date night. Figure out that infrastructure. It is so important to be selfish about your relationship, to prioritize your relationship, to be friends with your partner, to have the kind of relationship outside of the bedroom that makes you want to ultimately have sex.
Yes, and I think the biggest challenge we face as parents is that we forget that we are more than just mom and dad. We're someone's partner and lover, and that we are sexual beings regardless of who's at home waiting for us and crying. So Ian, thank you so much for being
pleasure,
here.
Logan.
This is a conversation that is ongoing, but one that is so important and helpful to so many relationships out there. And thank all of you for watching. Hopefully this will inspire you to have more conversations with your partner about having more, better, intimate sex. And leave a comment. Subscribe to CafeMom Studios on YouTube and let us know what's going on. And don't miss a single episode of Mom Ed in the Bedroom.